Justin, do I have to run my opening? Do I have to run the opening? No, okay. No opening. I don't know why he sent one to me then. Not here. Thank you. You'd think I was coaching again, is all this stuff I've got.
The Trib Live High School Sports Network is your home for high school sports. We broadcast over 2,000 high school sporting events each year, over 15 sports, and across 10 counties. Visit us online at hssn.triblive.com and find the latest in high school sports news, along with live and archive broadcasts, scores, stats, standings, and more, including premium shows live from the Excella Health Studios. Trib Live High School Sports Network, the official video and audio streaming network of the WPIAL.
Good evening and welcome to Belle Vernon Area High School James Weir Stadium, also known as the Beach. That's right, we're here atop of the gold turf at Belle Vernon Area High School for a Big 8 conference. Class 4A showdown. A nice little rivalry brewing in these here parts. The Belle Vernon Leopards host the Thomas Jefferson Jaguars. Paul Patera and Lou Rude with you on an There are numbers to support it. Lou, Thomas Jefferson, one of the most traditional programs in the WPIAL right now. Bill Chirpak, last 3 WPIAL champions in Class 4A, Thomas Jefferson's won them. Bill Chirpak's won 246 games as a head coach. The last 4 years in the regular season, Thomas Jefferson's 33-3. But 2 of those 3
It's a long time coming for Belle Vernon. For many, many years, from about the year 2001 up until about 4 years ago, TJ dominated the series with Belle Vernon. Matt Humbert's come on the scene and won 3 of the last 4 matches that they've had, or 2 of the last 3 that they've had with Thomas Jefferson, and that's been quite an accomplishment. I know it's something Bill Chirpak can't stand. In fact, one of the quotes I read that he put out there was, they've shown the highlights of last year's open loss to Belle Vernon in the regular season at least 50 times already since camp opened, just to drive home the point that they don't want to lose to Belle Vernon again. And he takes a lot of pride in that. And I think we saw, you didn't get a chance to see. I saw the first game last year as the Leopards come out onto the field here at James Weir Stadium. I got a chance to see the first game. You and I called the semifinal game where TJ just basically it's not a close game at all. And so you can see Church. And I imagine with as much as he's put into getting them ready for tonight, he's going to have them ready to go against Belle Vernon here at the Beach.
WPIAL semifinals, it was Thomas Jefferson that won the game. Both teams winning their conference openers last week rather handily. Now, Lou, they usually got an excellent tailback. This year, no different with Max Shaw, and he usually
yes, he has spread teams, but they still run the football. When he has his greatest success is when he runs the ball. Max Shaw is the kind of tailback he likes. He's big. On the field, and their fans on the far side of the stands here giving them a big ovation as they're getting is actually on the home side And Belle Vernon has their bench on the visiting side, and something Matt call TJ over there. Interesting setup here at James Weir Stadium, but should be a great game. Match between the two coaches. I spoke with Matt Humbert. Wants his kids ready to play, ready to go, but he is not going to say it's the end of the world if they should happen to come up short tonight. He knows it's still early in the season. You know,
in his 5 years here. This is Bill Cherpak's 24th season as the coach of the Thomas Jefferson Jaguars, and that's 246-47 is his record. Thomas Jefferson in the white jerseys, black numerals, a little black on the sleeve, black helmets, TJ outlined in gold on the helmet, white slacks with a black and gold stripe down the side of each side of the pants. Belle Vernon in the green jerseys, gold numerals, gold people were flashing many things, and it's
that's all right. Just we had a number change, and I just wanted to get that to you. For Belle Vernon tonight, so that is a change. Ordinarily, there he is. Ordinarily, he would number in the 70s, but he got moved to fullback, and also.
Dave Barry, Bill Schottenheimer, Paul Koval, Kevin Rombach, Alex Beasley, and Gino Sedlak. Captains for Thomas Jefferson, Max Shaw, Shane Stump, Dominic Serapiglia, and number 72, Mac Duda. For Belle Vernon, number 61, Eric O'Black. And the other numbers are shielded from me at this point. Number 7, Jake Fine. Number 1, Anthony Bertram. And number 66, Anthony Rebar. Going to be underway here shortly. Thomas Jefferson will kick the football to Belle. Kicking game is going to be important here tonight. A.J. Mashenko is the kicker for Thomas Jefferson. Touchbacks with every kick. Punter in his class in the country, and he's
two great weapons for both Thomas Jefferson and Belle Vernon in the kicking. In his class, which is a junior.
Excuse me, Larry. For Matt Humboldt, Belle Vernon Leopards. Ball on the and now they're telling them to huddle back up. It was actually a 7:06 was listed at kickoff time. This game getting covered by several media. To maneuver around them. I'm a little Mashank. Ball on the tee at the 40-yard line here as Belle Vernon attempts to protect the beach. James Weir Stadium at Belle Vernon area. And 15 has a hole. 25 over the 30. Mason Pasco.
And a touchdown saving tackle by one of the TJ special teams players, as Pasco looked like he.
Bill Cherpak, the coach of Thomas Jefferson, was quoted earlier this week. These games are why you play. Rivalry like this. Belle Vernon opens 1st and 10 at its 35. The quarterback, number 18, Jared. Hartman wearing number 12. Okay, that's a 2. Looks like inside Thomas Jefferson territory, tackled on the near. Up on the play of 31 yards.
And a nice zone play that time. He tried to run it on an inside zone, but had it stopped up, was able to bounce it to the outside. And here you see the play.
There's a penalty marker down across the way.
As Pasco bounces it to the outside and gets the Jets on, and a touchdown saving tackle for the Jaguars by Shane Stump, the junior free safety and quarterback. TJ has 9.
Penalty flag was a sideline warning against the Belle Vernon Leopards. The play action fake. Throwing on the wheel right for Callaway. Incomplete.
Backfield, as you mentioned, Paul. As he heads up the sideline and just has a couple steps, but not able to connect with it. Could have been another huge play for Belle Vernon on their second play from scrimmage.
2nd and 10 for the Leopards over the. And that's Pasco. Fake to him, keeping the football. Hartman puts the head down, gains 5 yards to the 30, making it a 3rd.
Zone read. He was reading Pasco.
Face mask against Thomas Jefferson. So Pack on 15, 1st and 10, Belle Vernon.
Like straight run blocking up front. I didn't really see any receivers going in there. They were blocking downfield. So it was a face mask on top of it.
Pasco to the left of Hartman, gets the football, runs off the left side. Stutter step moves, got some room. He's at the 10, brought down at about the 8. A great open. Up on 1st down of 7 yards.
You'll hear his name called a lot on the offensive side. He's already caught 3 touchdown passes for the Jaguars this season.
2nd and 2, give him a gain of 8. The ball rests at the 7-yard line of Thomas Jefferson. Hartman churning them legs down to about the 3. That'll make it.
The defense, as you'll see here, he rides Pasco, pulls it when he sees the defense, turns up a crease up the middle, takes it all the way down to the 2-yard line. And right now, the Belle Vernon offensive line is doing a nice job up front, opening holes. Hayden Barron, Anthony Evans, Eric Oblock, Colin Pilata, and Anthony Rebar, along with tight end Anthony Bertram, and they're open.
Hartman under center, deep in the eye is Mason Pasco. Quarterback keeper off right guard. Hartman gets short.
Game for Belle Vernon. They added their fullback in, so Gage is in at fullback, number 45. We'll see if he stays.
Sidelines, number 17, Hunter Rukonen.
A little more of a look up.
The pass going, he is stacked up at the line of scrimmage. Might even allow. And that's Trevor Barrett.
Yeah, inside linebacker Barrett, 6 foot, 205 pound sophomore, read the untouched, unblocked, as he just stepped up into the gap and met Pasco for.
Callaway is the running back. He is off to the left of the quarterback, Jared Hartman. Hartman takes the snap, runs with the football, and is
Barrett, number 50, the big defensive tackle, 5'10", 295-pound senior. Quarterback power and good penetration by Barrett.
well, right on way. We're going to see one of these kickers. Field goal straight away for Guess. The snap is bouncing. It gets past Rukonen. Guess picks up the football. He's running and is going to be tackled back at the 20-yard line. There 20, 8:07 to play in the first quarter. We are scoreless.
In the South Hills have multiple wash packages available to keep your car looking its very best. Give your car the works to give it that showroom shine with the added tire dressing and Magic Repel. And remember, there's an easier way to wash your car. Check them out online at MrMagicCarWash.com or visit a location near you to keep your car clean, shiny, and dry every time. And looking for a new car? Look no further than C. Harper Auto Group. Chevy, Buick, Cadillac, Ford, Honda, Kia, commercial trucks, and service. With C. Harper, it's just that easy with your winning C. Harper team. This year, they're celebrating 35 years of business. Visit their new location in Connellsville. For more information, go to charper.com.
The offense led by quarterback Shane Stump, who threw 3 touchdown passes last week to Dave Diebner in the 62-0 victory. .205-pound junior. His tailback this year, the senior Max Shaw, and he's just stepping in to a position manned by so many great players. Last year was Justin Vigna for the Jaguars. Behind the line of scrimmage.
And they're still going to be held up here.
For the Jaguars. Diebner's in the slot. Told you 3 touchdown catches last week. Belle Vernon in a 5-3 alignment. 4 down linemen across the front. Quick pass out to the right side. In the flat, it's Diebner. Diebner breaks a tackle. He's got room. He's at the 40, the 45. Rukonen gets the angle, but doesn't bring. Up on the play of 45 yards.
To the right just a little bit there. Right at the point of attack. When you don't, it's going to be a huge gain, and Hunter Rukonen has to save the day for Belle Vernon as Diebner has a huge gain on the play.
46-yard gain to be exact. 1st and 10, TJ at the 34 of Belle Vernon. High back. After a pickup of
to play it, not the way it got played the last time. You'll see Diebner goes backwards. The pass is completed backwards. Then he heads forward, and 3 Leopards actually there to bring him down.
So it's
hard.
I backfilled once again. 7 minutes to play in the first quarter, a scoreless first quarter. There's the give to the tailback, Shaw. Shaw breaks 1 tackle, gets about 3. The ball is loose. A Belle with the football, but the play here, so
Here
we
go.
shall see. Still has it. That was a fumble.
That was a
fumble, my friends. Three. Thomas Jefferson at the 27 of Belle Vernon. Shaw again. Cutback move. He's at the 20. The 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, TJ.
Cut back against the grain there, and able to take it in.
For Max Shaw, he had 3 touchdowns last week in the win over Ringgold. Mashenko on to kick the extra point. Thomas Jefferson Jaguars. And the Jaguars strike first. And TJ's
Shorter man.
shuffling an 11th player on the field. He's the guy that snaps the football. They kind of need him.
Yeah, he helps a little bit.
And we're going to get a penalty. It's going to be a delay of game call against the Thomas Jefferson Jaguars. Those long snapper duties are usually handled by Dom Serapiglia, but running on the field at the last minute, the snapper was Nicholas Trainer. So that'll back the extra point up 5 yards. Shouldn't be a problem for Mashenko. About a 25-yard extra point for Mashenko. Trainer snap, bounces, and it's picked up by the holder, Diebner. Diebner's running with the football. He throws it incomplete. So the score will remain 6-0. Thomas Jefferson leads Belle Vernon with 6:14 to play in the first quarter. And we're going to send you down to the 3rd member of our broadcast team this evening. Down on the field at Shelby.
The game, and it's not too often that we see great punters and kickers on 2 high school teams going at it, but tonight we have that. On the Belle Vernon side, Cameron Guess, the #1 punter in the nation in his class, number 13th kicker in the nation, and he's already 5 of 6 on the season, those 5 kicks going for touchbacks. He was a soccer player here at BVA, but gave that up so he could focus on his football career. And on the other sideline, right next to me here, we have AJ Mashenko for Thomas Jefferson. He's 9 of 10, 9 of those kicks going for touchbacks. It should be a great battle between 2 awesome special teams units here tonight.
Thank you. Quick break in. 6-0. TJ leads Belle Vernon. You're watching WPIAL Football 2018 on the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
There's a new fear, not with a rate as low as 3.29% APR with only $50,000 borrowed, fixed for 7 years, there's nothing to fear. You can renovate the kitchen or update a bathroom or 2. So lock in your rate now before they, well, I don't want to say it out loud. If choosing the better option is your worry, you can be confident that Dollar Bank's loan experts have only your best interests in mind since they're not paid a commission. So lock in your rate before they go up again. Get those home improvements done with a rate as low as 3.29% APR, fixed for 7 years. Longer terms are available. Stop by, call 1-800-242-BANK, or visit dollar.bank. Dollar Bank, mutually inspired. Rate is for well-qualified borrowers and includes a discount with a maintained qualifying checking account. Not available for the refinance of a Dollar Bank loan, line, or mortgage of less than $15,000 in new money. Monthly payment of $13.34 per $1,000 borrowed. Other terms and conditions apply. Subject to change without notice. Equal housing lender.
Alongside leads Belle Vernon 6-0. Kick to the far side of the field. Vernon takes it at the 13. Running across the field. He's at the 20. Slips a tackler. Gets to about the 20. Well, that was a Thomas Jefferson special there, Lou, on the touchdown run. You know they run that counter with the cut back move. They ran it 2 plays in a row. Second play, a 27-yard touchdown.
Yeah. Kid and has speed, a power runner, and you saw he was able to just bounce to the outside and just kick it into gear and outrun everybody.
So it's 1st and 10, Belle Vernon at its 22-yard line. Leopards going from left to right. TJ in its familiar 4-4-3. Pass goes ahead of the pack. 50, 45, 40. It's a foot race. Catch me if you can. Mason Pasco, 78 yards.
We're going to run counter Trey on you. They pull the guard and tackle, open up a huge hole, and Mason Pasco takes it to the house. Through, Pasco bursts through, down to the next level blocking, and he's gone.
Last week, Mason Pasco had 11 carries for 90 yards. This week, 5 carries already, 102 yards. And Cam Guess on to try to break this tie. Both teams have had troubles with the kick snap. Guess gets the kick right through the uprights. Belle Vernon leads. 2008.
I have for my opponents, the trust I have in my teammates, a coach who treats me with dignity, and a university that has faith in me on and off the field. That's what keeps me focused, why I practice harder, play my heart out. I play to win. I play for Carlo. Tell us your story using #WhatDriveSYou.
Carlo University is a proud sponsor of the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
Coming up at the half, it's the Trib Live High School Sports Halftime Show. This WPIAL this season. 5:55 to play in the first quarter at James Weir Stadium. Belle Vernon Area High School, Class 4A, Big 8 Conference, Belle Vernon leads Thomas Jefferson 7-6. Thomas Jefferson with a 27-yard touchdown run by Max Shaw. Mason Pasco, a 78-yard run for Belle Vernon.
The second drive for the Leopards. The first drive, they should have had points. They were in field goal position for Cam Guess, but bad snap took the play away from them, and they didn't get a chance to even get the kickoff on the field goal attempt.
Guess on to kick off. See if it's a touchback. Mashanko's 2 kickoffs have not been touched. County, not in the state. Colleges.
And a very good soccer player as well, as Shelby mentioned, but he gave up soccer to concentrate on his kicking in hopes of getting a scholarship.
And after this play, there's a story dealing with Belle Vernon soccer, Lou, that we'll What a leg. But there is a story surrounding the Belle Vernon soccer team.
There is. Jake Sapesky, a Belle Vernon soccer player, was injured in a game against Ringgold earlier this week. He was running full speed, as was a Ringgold player. They went to head a ball and ended up hitting heads themselves, and Jake got a fractured skull and indentation in his skull. He was released. Turn, but once again, and it said BVA for Jake, and nice touch on that part, and they were all concerned about their teammate. But it's great to report that he is home now, resting comfortably, and the surgery went well. And so our thoughts and prayers for Jake Sapeski, and a shout-out to him if he's watching. Wish you well, buddy. Hope you have a quick recovery.
Yeah, best wishes and prayers go out to him and Hunter Hamilton, the football player at Laurel, who suffered that serious injury last week. Sounds like he's making some improvements, so hopes and prayers to him as well. 1st and 10. Thomas Jefferson at its 10. Stump throwing deep for Diebner. Overshoots him, and there's 4.
A one-man pattern as they send Diebner on a fly route. Just take off, run as fast as you can. Ample coverage on Diebner.
Coming off the sideline. Running back a few years back.
Oh, yeah.
Zandier's the wide man to the near side. Diebner in the slot. I backfield for the Jaguars. 2nd and 10 at their 10, going from right to left. And there's going to be a penalty. Diebner took a few steps back. That's a no-no, illegal procedure against the Jaguars. And
in front of him, lead blocking, and kind of gave it away when he went a little too soon there.
2nd and 15, Thomas Jefferson at its 5-yard line. Jaguars offense in the shadows of its own goal line. One back set this time with Shaw. There's a wing back off to the right side, a receiver each way. 7 in the box for Belle Vernon on defense. Stump back to pass. He's throwing that fade to Diebner near side. Makes the catch. Brought out of bounds by Rukonen, but not until he gets to the 30. And that's the 3rd time Stump and Diebner have hooked up tonight.
That was just a fade route by Diebner. That was a beautiful pass. The only person that was going to catch that was Diebner. If he wasn't going to catch it, it was going to go out of bounds, but Stump placed it beautifully. Nice touch.
Tight end. Back, that's Shaw off the left side, breaks a tackle. Shaw with room inside Belle Vernon territory, brought down.
Again, see the guard and tackle pull the true counter tray, and Larry Calloway had a shot at him in the hole, missed him, and Labuda's able to bring him down, but not until he got a big gain and another first down for Thomas Jefferson.
Ball at the 38-yard line. Explosive in the early on here. Fullback for Thomas Jefferson in the lineup, number 34, Nate Werderber. He's in front of Mac Shaw in the I backfield, and it's a give to Werderber on the trap. Werderber puts the head down, gets close to a first down. The sticks.
We used to call it the Bap Trap in honor of Bap Manzini, the longtime coach from Thomas Jefferson. It's been a staple in the TJ offense for years.
Legendary coach of Thomas Jefferson for a long time, Bap Manzini. Stump, 3-step drop. There's that fade. Far side this time. There's a fight for the ball. It's incomplete.
Great coverage by Jake Fine on the play. Was with him step for step. Rainbow intended for Bowen, but a nice play by Fine.
2nd and 10. Thomas Jefferson at the Belle Vernon 28-yard line. 4. Tailback Shaw, cutback move. football. Belle Vernon recovers the Shaw fumble at the Belle Vernon 22-yard line.
Pop loose, Vernon comes up with it, and it was Larry. For the Leopards, and huge turnover. And just puts his helmet right on the.
And 10. Belle Vernon at its 22. Receiver right. Takes the shotgun snap. Jared Hartman in trouble, and he's going to be sacked back at about the 15.
For 50, Darius Barrett. He pushes through and just wraps up J.J. Hartman.
Loss of 7 on the play. It'll be 2nd and 17. Belle Vernon at its 15. Leopards going from left to right. Receiver wide to the left side, and another one comes wide near side. That's Vernon wide to the near side. Man in motion, Rogue the fullback. Fake to the tailback, Pasco. Hartman keeps it, gets very.
Danielson on the stop, and that probably should have given it to Pasco, as Danielson was right there to bring him down.
Of course, Logan Danielson, the younger brother of Devin Danielson, who is now out at the University of Pittsburgh. I understand they have a pretty big game tomorrow.
Yeah.
Penn State game tomorrow night at 8 o'clock at Heinz Field. 3rd and 18 for Belle Vernon at its 14. Screen pass out on the far side, complete, but nowhere to run. And getting back to the line. And long for Belle Vernon.
Vernon nowhere to run. Great team pursuit by the TJ defense, and Vernon had nowhere to go. So we will see Cam Guess punt now for Belle Vernon.
Jefferson would get good field position, but with this, the punting leg of Guess, but the snap bounces to him. He bobbles it, picks it up, kick is blocked. It's loose in the end zone. It's a scramble for it. There's still people fighting for the football. His team 4 points, but Belle Vernon's having trouble with the kick snaps here tonight, Luke.
Yes, they
lead.
Jaguars.
The Jaguars, an 8-7 lead. Thomas Jefferson getting 2 points on the safety. And it looks like we'll be able to take a quick break here. 2:15 to play in the first quarter. You're watching WPIAL Football 2018 on the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
.380 Discount Warehouse in Murraysville carries a full line of brand new furniture at discount pricing. .380 Discount Warehouse carries Ashley, Liberty, Vaughn Bassett, and Best Home Furniture, and many more. You can special order your furniture at discount pricing. While you're there, shop the many other departments, including tools, automotive, food, pet and wildlife, household goods and cleaning supplies, lawn and garden, and seasonal holiday decor. Visit them on the web at shop380.com or on the road on Route 380 in Murraysville. Open Tuesday through Sunday, 9 to 5. Shop 380 Discount Warehouse and save big.
Some of the top athletes in the WPIAL are featured every week on the Trib Live High School Sports Network. Log on to Class 4A, Big 8 Conference. On the free kick, Guess is teeing it up, so he's going to kick it off. You have the option to punt or kick off after a safety. He's going to kick off. Over the 20. Now picks up the speed a little bit. Running down the far sidelines. He's got moved inside Belle Vernon territory. Brought down of 53 yards.
And there you have the double-edged sword. Guess has blocker set a lane up for him down the far sideline, and he was able to get a huge return. He kicked it from the 20. Shaw took it at the 11-yard line. That was an unbelievable kickoff.
Jaguars with an 8-7 lead have it 1st and 10 at the Belle Vernon 30.
Almost
Shane Stump under center.
69 yards on that kickoff.
Twins to the near side of the field, flanking out left. Diebner in the slot. To give to the tailback, Max Shaw. Shaw with a huge hole, and he's going to take this one into the end zone for a Thomas Jefferson touch.
As the Garden tap. Has a huge hole and is gone.
And as we know, Lou, for watching Thomas Jefferson football for these many years, that's TJ football right there, that play right there.
That's exactly what they want.
A hold. To play in the first quarter, 15-7 in favor of the Thomas Jefferson Jaguars. Bills. They have multiple showroom shine with the added tire dressing and Magic Repel. Or visit a location near you to keep your car clean, shiny, and dry every single time.
And we want to remind you to check out the new Rebel Yell podcast featuring our own Don Rebel as he hashtag Ask Don with all your questions, as Don has a lot of excitement here in the first quarter, Paul.
Still a minute 58 to play in the quarter. Thomas five. Longer touchdown run by Mason Pasco. He and Callaway await the kickoff from Mashenko. To become only the third team ever to win 4 Callaway at the 8. He's over the 10, 15, 20. Breaks a couple of tackles there, but is met as he went. Clareton earlier this century. And Bill Chirpak trying to become the first WPIAL coach to win 8 championships.
Did you actually see the teams that Brian Buck coach play?
No, I did not broadcast those games.
Just checking. That was back in the 30s, wasn't it? 30s or 40s? Just kidding, Paul.
I am an old man.
I'm older than you, so I'm just kidding there.
I backfilled man in motion, Rakonen from right to left. Give to the tailback. That's Pasco. Pasco bounces off tacklers, gets over the 30 to about the 34-yard line.
Trey came right back with it. Bounces off as they can't wrap him up, and another nice gain for Mason Pasco.
Martinez on the tackle for Thomas Jefferson, one of He's creeping up to the line of scrimmage this time between the tackle and the end. Now he backs off a bit. 1st and 10, Belle Vernon at its 33. 5-step drop, now rolling to the left side. Hartman floats a pass to an open man. Rakonen on the far side. Dipsy Doo on the defensive back, brought down at the 4.
Ran a soft little out route, and Hartman is able to hit him. And ends up being forced out of the pocket, and just a nice touch on the ball, gets it over to Rakoner, and he's able to get first yardage gain. They had 12 out there.
So that'll back the Leopards up 5, make it 1st and 15 for Belle Vernon at its 42. Minute 6 to play in the first quarter. It's Thomas Jefferson 15, Belle Vernon 7. High backfield for the Leopards. Receivers each way. Press coverage near side by the Jaguars. Play action fake. Hartman rolling right, in trouble, going to be sacked back at the 30. Quarterback.
Yeah, Logan Danielson getting in that time. Coming from the bottom down there, number 54. You'll see him go over the blocking back and engulf Jared Hartman in the backfield.
That makes it 2nd and 21 for Belle Vernon at its deep man. 2 receivers near side. Rakonen is the wide man. Dame is in the slot. It's a give to the tailback, Pasco. Pasco gets to the 39.
This time Trevor Barrett, inside linebacker.
And that'll be the end of the first quarter with the score. Thomas Jefferson 15, Belle Vernon 7. You are watching WPIAL Football 2018 on the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
Robinson offers a variety of breakfast sandwiches, including sausage, bacon, or, of course, chicken. Breakfast is served hot and fresh daily, featuring our handmade biscuits. Need to feed a crowd or a tailgate on Sunday? Chick-fil-A Robinson Catering has got you covered with hot or reheatable chicken trays. Visit our catering website at www.cfarobinsoncaters.com to book your business or social event today. Chick-fil-A Robinson Catering. We deliver.
If you're a working professional ready to move up in your career, Seton Hill University has a program just for you. Seton Hill's adult degree program offers flexible undergraduate degree courses in areas like accounting, criminal justice, business, and human services. The adult degree program has 5 start dates a year and offers convenient course times, financial aid, a 96% placement rate, and career services for life. Register for our next info session and learn more at setonhill.edu/ADP. Seton Hill University, this way up.
Looking for a new car? Look no further than C. Harper Auto Group. Chevy, Buick, Cadillac, Ford, Honda, Kia, commercial trucks and service. With C. Harper, it's just that easy. With your winning C. Harper team, this year they're celebrating 35 years of business. Visit their new location in Connellsville. For more information, go to
show with Don Rebel and the Trib's Chris Harlan. They're going to be talking about the players to watch around the WPIAL this season. Paul Patera, Lou Rude. We're at James K. Weir Stadium, Belle Vernon Area High School, the home of the Gold Turf. Home team trailing Thomas Jefferson 15-7 in this Class 4A Big 8 conference game. Last year was the Big 9 conference. Belle Vernon was actually the conference champion and has been 2 of the last 3 years, but Thomas Jefferson the WPIAL champion. So it'll be 3rd and 18. Belle Vernon at its 39, this time going from right to left as we start quarter number 2. 3 receivers set, 2 left, 1 right. Across the front. The ends Logan Danielson and number 49 for Thomas Jefferson. Gabe Dominic shifted positions.
Pack. Was a heck of a rivalry. We mentioned the TJ dominance. I got through was 6-1 against TJ.
Shotgun snap to Hartman. Hartman surveys the field. He's in trouble. Breaks away from the pressure. Steps up, throws man wide open downfield. It's Pasco. Makes the catch.
Downfield.
Oh, an illegal man downfield will be the call.
Hayden Barron was about 20 yards downfield, wide open. Under pressure, gets away, comes around, and we'll see on the replay here as he throws the ball, and Pasco gets the ball, and I hate to say it, he was in bounds, but it would have come back anyway because of the ineligible man downfield.
And of course, that second quarter, Norwin leads Hempfield 13-7. My brother Doug, friend of the network, with the score from that game. So it'll be fourth down, and it'll be a punt for the Belle Vernon. Leopards do a little better with this punt snap. They're setting up the return. Roll. A good roll inside the 25 down to about the 21 of Thomas Jefferson. 11:35 to play in the first half. It's Thomas Jefferson 15, Belle Vernon 7.
Yeah, the roll is what saved that punt. As you look at a pop fly in baseball, that was a pop fly punt, but then it hit and rolled extremely well.
So Thomas Jefferson 1st and 10 at its 21-yard line. Paul Patera, Lou Rude with WPIAL Wednesday nights at 7. Join us as we visit with some of the top WPIAL coaches. Plus, we recap week back set this time for the Jaguars. A wing back off to the right side. Faking the toss sweep. Stump's going to throw. He's throwing deep for Diebner. Incomplete. And it
was a one-man pattern, but Stump on the fake toss was looking for Diebner all the way. He does it.
backs in the eye, Twins off to the left side. To give to the tailback. Shaw with a huge hole again. Shaw up.
Hearing me say counter Trey.
Not yet.
Because leads up through. Here it comes. You're going to watch. And a huge hole for Shaw.
Is that a play? The Washington Redskins, I think, were the first team to
The
really...
Redskins, yeah.
Backs in the eye, Twins to the right this time. There's that stay pass. Complete to Diebner, but played. Scrimmage. In fact,
yeah. Beat the block of Bowen Dane.
So that makes it 2nd and 10. Thomas Jefferson at its 35. Jaguars going from left to right, ball on the near hash mark. 2 receivers far side, tight end that way as well. And he'll step out of bounds at about the 38. Yards for Max Shaw.
And here he goes. You see, it gets it a little bit late, but they, again, left guard pulls, kicks out, left tackle leads up through, and Shaw has a huge hole to run through. And as we said, that play was popularized by the Joe Gibbs era Washington Redskins, and they had the big hogs up front.
It's Thomas Jefferson at the 43 of Belle Vernon.
Up in there.
2nd and 2, Belle Vernon on defense. Thomas Jefferson with the ball at the Leopards' 35-yard line. I backfield, Twins to the far side. And it is starting to pour. There's a give to the tailback, Sean. He lines pouring down rain. The skies have opened here in Belle Vernon.
Yeah, you can see it. There, as you can see the lights and the rain reflecting off the lights.
Of course, they
game at halftime.
And it delayed the NFL opener last night. I back for the Jaguars, 1st and 10 at the 28 of Belle Vernon. Some movement on the line, give to the tailback, Shaw. Shaw's going to be stuffed this time at the line of scrimmage. Might have fought forward for a yard to the 27, 2nd and 10. 2nd and 9, excuse me.
Yeah, he did a nice job that time. His running game has been stopped tonight by the Belle Vernon defense. They've had their way with the Leopards when it comes to running the football so far to this point in the game.
2nd and 9, Jaguars at the Leopards' 27-yard line. Backs in the eye. Twins off to the left side. Give to the fullback on the trap. Verdebner. Couple of hard-fought yards there. Give him the 25-yard line of Belle Vernon. That'll make it 3rd and 7. Now, usually you'd say 4-down country. These teams have great kickers, but this rain may change things.
To run the ball and run the ball with authority. You know, I don't think downpour right now. I don't think you want to take a chance on a kick. Bad snap.
Fumbled snap. I believe Stump. Seven. Thomas Jefferson at the Belle Vernon 20. The quarterback fumbling the snap, so it's 4th and 7, Thomas Jefferson.
Well, it's really not even fair to blame Stump. He didn't even have his hands underneath the center at that point. And look at the rain come down here. You can see it cascading in front of the lights.
It looks like they're going to run the play clock down. It's at 12 now and take a timeout on this 4th and 7.
And then talk about it.
That'll wind the second quarter. 18-7, Thomas Jefferson leads Belle Vernon. You're watching WPIAL.
Check out
and more. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram under the handle TribLiveHSSN. Get in the conversation on Facebook at facebook.com/TribLiveHSSN. And on our YouTube channel, you can find thousands of interviews with local student athletes and coaches, plus highlights and full games. The spot for Western Pennsylvania high school sports on social media this season is the new Trib Live High School Sports Network.
Mr. Magic Car Wash, Pittsburgh's premier car wash, serving you with 5 convenient locations in the South Hills. They have multiple wash packages available to keep your car looking its very best. Give your car the works to give it that showroom shine with the added tire dressing and Magic Repel. And remember, there's an easier way to wash your car. Check them out online at MrMagicCarWash.com. I had to finish it
Sorry.
every time. I was emphasizing. It's called giving some emphasis to the spot, helping out the sponsor there. All right, Paul, go ahead.
A dramatic pause. 6:47 to play in the first half. It's Thomas Jefferson 15, Belle Vernon. Rain, which will eschew the kicking game here, and Thomas Jefferson will go for it on 4th and 7. First timeout used by either team. Receivers each way, stump under center, I backfield. 8 in the box on defense for Belle Vernon. Diebner in motion from right to left. Faking the sweep that way, naked boot right, Stump with the football, Stump breaks a tackle, but he stepped up. Very close. Just
down inside, and the outside back didn't get up in time to make the play, and Stump is able to get enough for the first down.
1st and 10. Thomas Jefferson at the 18 of Belle Vernon. I backfield for the Jaguars. Give to Shaw, the tailback. Shaw with another huge hole.
Right there, that was just a straight ISO. Fullback's going to lead up through. And TJ's able to run the ball with authority right now.
They are owning the line of scrimmage. 1st and goal, Jaguars at the Belle Vernon. Diebner in the slot. Shaw again. Shaw stumbles. The ball is loose. Recovery at the 7-yard line. And on the recovery,
and he doesn't have a good grip on the ball, number one. He doesn't put it in. Comes up with the fumble recovery. Was going to be able to punch it into the end zone. And you know what, Paul, with the weather, going to be paramount for both teams. You got to protect that football.
Belle Vernon 1st and 10, added 7. Going from right to left, backs in the eye. Give to the tailback, Pasco. Pasco with some room. Gets over the 10. He's to a
and Pasco just hits his head up in there and gets a nice gain.
Now, a game like this, do they change the football every play?
Every play, they'll change it in and out. And you'll see that there's probably an
Second and 5, Belle Vernon at its 12. I backfield again. Pasco with the ball once again. Pasco's to about the 15.
TJ able to just hold him short of the first down, but still play to make sure that it is dry. And they'll have the ball boys over on the sideline keeping them dry, and they keep extra balls in a bag to make sure they stay.
Jared Hartman under center. Turns, gives the ball. Stacked up at the line of scrimmage. Pasco. This is a key situation. Belle Vernon's had trouble with kick snaps. So Guest will be kicking in this rain, and they've been having some problems with the kick snaps. One has led to a safety.
Yeah, they've been rolling back. Punter.
Diemner back alone, standing just in front of the midfield stripe. Cameron Guest on to punt. He'll hit it from about his 5. Line of Belle Vernon, 27-yard.
When he had to play shortstop and catch it on the short hop, took a step and he mishit the ball, take their step, boot it.
Jefferson 15-7. You're watching WPIAL Football 2018 right here on the Trib Live High School.
Thursday night at 7 o'clock for the latest high school football news during this week in the WPIAL, only here on the new Trib Live High School Sports Network. Join Don Rebel and other members of the Trib Live High School Sports Network team as it visits with WPIAL football coaches, plus they run down the upcoming schedule and preview the weekend's top high school football games. That's this week in the WPIAL, every Wednesday at 7 p.m. this fall, only on the new Trib Live High School Sports Network.
Excella Health knows how important shoulders, knees, and ankles are to an athlete. Whether you're on the gridiron, under the boards, or walking a balance beam, being on the sidelines is never an option. Excella Health has a trusted team of orthopedic surgeons and athletic trainers right here in Westmoreland County. To learn more about Excella Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, visit them on the web at excellahealth.org. That's excellahealth.org.
Paul Patera, Lou Root at Belle Vernon area high school. They're playing Thomas Jefferson. We're 15-7. Thomas Jefferson lead, has it 1st and 10 at the 28 of Belle Vernon. Give to Shaw, and he on Pilata.
The ankles and then get some help, and I think that's the first time Shaw's gotten a negative yard on a run, is it not?
By the looks, by what I have, yes, that is the case. 2nd and 11. Thomas Jefferson at the Belle Vernon 29. Wide man. Backs in the eye. Shaw the deep man. Stump. There's a pitch. Running with the football is Shaw. Bounces off a tackler, but a host of other Leopards.
Belle Vernon defense, team pursuit. They get in there quickly, and the one that really messed the play up for Belle Vernon was number 1, and that was Anthony Bertram, who came in and took the lead blocker out quick.
The Shaw keeping the football. Stump inside the 25. Go for it again.
I would think Nino Kuntz on the stop for Belle Vernon. It's a good thing he made the tackle when he did, because Stump Stump's going to end up in the end zone.
4th and 4. Thomas Jefferson at the Belle Vernon 22-yard line, and it looks like once again that'll take the clock down to about 1:35 to play here in the first half. Leads Belle Vernon. Do we need a break here?
And we'll remind you that Mr. Magic Car Wash, Pittsburgh's premier car wash, is serving you with 5 convenient locations in the South Hills. They have multiple wash packages available to keep your car looking its very best. Give your car the works to give it that showroom shine with the added tire dressing and Magic Repel. And remember, there's an easier way to wash your car. Check them out online at MrMagicCarWash.com or visit a location near you to keep your car clean, shiny, and dry every time.
Don't forget, next Friday and Saturday, conference play continues around. Our video stream game of the week, Penn Hills at Mars. So it's 4th and 4. Thomas Jefferson at leads Belle Vernon on other. Only one time. Churpak has cooked up for this 4th and 4. Of course, Bill Churpak sporting the shorts on the sidelines. We all are today. It's kind of warm.
Yeah, it's warm.
Mid-December, he'll still have his shorts on.
All right, so will half his staff.
They're nuts.
They are. I used to do. Now you'd see me in the snowmobile down on the sideline.
2 receivers left, 1 right on the 4th and 4. Shotgun formation. Shaw to the right is Shane Stump. Stump takes the snap, drops it, picks it up. In trouble, throws through the hands of Shaw.
Snap. Drops it, and now quick pressure. I think that was Hunter Rakonen coming in on the play there that got to him very quickly. As you can see, the TJ band and cheerleaders there getting ramped up and ready for the halftime show. At least now when you've got the artificial turf fields. Halftime, they made him stand on the sideline. They wouldn't let him on the field.
Minute 29 to play in the first half. Thomas Jefferson 15, Belle Vernon 7. The Leopards 1st and 10 at their 22. But Coach Matt Humbert has all 3 of his timeouts remaining. Hartman under center, gives the ball to the tailback. Pasco, he's stacked up, loses a. Barrett.
Barrett has had a heck of a game.
It looks like Belle Vernon may be content to run out the clock because we are at under a minute now to play in the points. Play clock is still at 16 seconds, so Hartman can take some more time off the clock. Now he takes the snap, fakes to Pasco, keeps the football. He gets over the 25, stumbles over the 30, over the 30. The clock with 37.4 seconds.
And now they've gotten it out away from where they need to go. They can go ahead and open up the offense and throw the ball if they want.
Yards, only completing a couple of.
Belle Vernon huddle there on the sideline, talking to Coach Matt Humbert. He's with the blue headset and the hat on there. You can see him right over the shoulder of number 61 for Belle Vernon.
Matt, also the athletic director here at Belle Vernon Area High School. Been a busy week for him with all the media requests he had for this big game, and he's the football coach, and it's a big game.
Yep.
Mark. Two receivers off to the right side for the Leopards. Hartman in the shotgun has a fullback and Pasco, two backs to his right. Four on the defensive front. Five-man rush, however. Hartman throws. There's the stay pass over to Rakonen. Rakonen dancing away from some defenders. Gets open. Playing
downfield. You see them trying to get out there to block, but TJ does a nice job of holding up the linemen so they can't get out there. So Rakonen was able to get positive yardage, but that play is designed to get huge yardage if it runs.
Still a little bit. It's 2nd and 5. Belle Vernon at its 41. 29 seconds to play in the first half. The Leopards trail Thomas Jefferson. Bill Chirpak and his coach. His coaching record.
Yep. And in 7 WPIAL championships, a couple of state championships. He is just a legend at TJ. Bat Manzini was a legend before. Bill Chirpak has ascertained the same status, if not surpassing Bat Manzini.
Shotgun formation. Hartman takes the snap, fakes to Pasco, keeps the football. He's getting some yardage inside Thomas Jefferson territory, breaks a tackle. And a Belle Vernon player gets up. The Leopards up.
I think it's going to be a hold. But Garrity's known more for the job he did at Steel Valley. You know, he had a fantastic job at Steel Valley. So you got a hold call on Belle Vernon, and Steel Valley TJ connection because Bill Chirpak played at Steel Valley.
2nd and 4. Ball at the 42-yard line. It's 10 yards from the start of the foul, so the play actually gained a yard. Still,
and I got to get another plug in here real quick. You know my favorite team is Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, Chase Winovich is one of the star players for the University of Michigan, a TJ grad.
Second, and now we've got movement on the right side of the line. I think that's going to back Belle Vernon up a few more yards. Chase Winovich from Thomas Jefferson, Kalik Hudson to McKeesport.
McKeesport, yep.
Legal procedure against Belle Vernon. Back the Leopards up 5.
Yeah, Winovich easy to down the quarterbacks.
So that'll make it 2nd and 9 for Belle Vernon at its 37. This may change the strategy for Matt Humbert. It looks like at least they're in a running play formation. 2 wingbacks, 1 receiver. Callaway in motion from right to left. Hartman fumbles the snap. It's loose.
Up in the air.
At the 35 of Belle Vernon, and Thomas Jefferson has 19.4 seconds to play in the first half. And there's still a timeout for Thomas Jefferson.
I looked. Hands, and now it's a free-for-all. On the ball, he tried to reach down and pick it up, and that's when bad things happen.
1st and 10, Thomas Jefferson at the 35 of Belle Vernon. 2 receivers right, 1 left. 4-man defensive front. Stump, 3-step drop, throws. Complete to Diebner on the slant. And Diebner's going to take this one into the end zone.
Slant, whatever you want to call it, beat the coverage. The safety couldn't get over.
Time these two have hooked up for a touchdown this year. Diebner with his 4th catch of the night. And they have accounted for 115 yards of offense.
How many yards on that ball?
35-yard touchdown pass. And that's a huge touchdown because it looked like Belle Vernon was just going to run the clock out. Belle Vernon 7, still 13.2 seconds to play in the first half. Each team still has a timeout to work with. It'll probably all depend. You said, Lou, Bill Cherpak made them watch the film of last year's Belle Vernon victory over the Jaguars many times. So to try.
And, that's just a backbreaker when you get right down to it. Want to call it, and there was no one there with him, and they could catch him, and he just sprinted it into the end zone untouched, essentially.
Mashenko putting it on the tee. Pasco and Callaway going deep for Belle Vernon. Pass. On a bounce, goes through Callaway's hands and is going to roll into the end zone for a touchback. So that'll make it 1st and 10, Belle Vernon at its 20. Think Matt Humbert will try something here or take a knee and run off these last 13 seconds?
I would think they're going to try and go in and regroup at halftime. Yeah,
Thomas Jefferson gets the ball to start the second.
Again. So
the rain appears to have subsided, but for about 10 minutes there, man, deluge. Seven receivers each way for the Leopards. Hartman under center. It's going to be an I backfield. Pasco is the deep man. TJ 4 across the defensive front in the 4-4-3 alignment. Rukonen in motion from right to left. Lines up in the slot. Give to Pasco off the right side. Pasco's got some room. Pasco's at the 35. Pasco's at the 40, the 50, the 45. Inside the 40. Yards, 4.8 seconds left. They can try something.
Hard. They kept the tackle down on the linebacker and led up through, but a huge gain by Pasco.
So 1st and 10, Belle Vernon at the 35 of TJ. We told you about the kicking leg of Cam Guess for Belle Vernon. Perhaps takes the snap, rolls right, in trouble, rolls left, and is going to be, breaks a tackle, still going, then is brought down. The halftime score, Thomas Jefferson 22, Belle Vernon 7, and it looks like Hartman's hurt. You are watching WPIAL Football 2018.
I have for my opponents, the trust I have in my teammates, a coach who treats me with dignity, and a university that has faith in me on and off the field. That's what keeps me focused, why I practice harder, play my heart out. I play to win. I play for Carlo. Tell us your story using #WhatDriveYou.
Carlow University is a proud sponsor of the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
For the most complete recap of Friday night's high school football School Sports Network. Hi, this is Don Rebel. Join me in a cast of thousands for all the scores with recaps from the top games. Plus, we highlight the night on the Trib Live Roundtable. That's the WPIAL scoreboard show after the game on Friday nights on the Trib Live High School Sports Network and at tribhssn.triblive.com.
It's halftime here at James K. Weir Stadium, Belle Vernon Area High School. Big 8. Top-ranked team, and they're still tending to Belle Vernon quarterback Jared Hartman on the field. They have got the cart out to ride him off the field, but he doesn't want the cart. He says, don't give me a cart. He's going to walk off the field. Referee Dave Barry asking him to see how he is. Touchdown for Thomas Jefferson, and those usually are killers.
They are, because they change the momentum of the game. You know, you go into expecting to go into halftime down 15-7, and then you have a situation where you have a fumble, they recover it in position where they can get at least a pass off. They do get the pass off, they take it in for the touchdown, and suddenly you're down 22-7, and you're thinking, what the heck happened?
Thomas Jefferson scored first, 6:14 to play in the first quarter, a 27-yard touchdown run by Max Shaw. That culminated a 4-play drive. On the very next play, offensive play, Mason Pasco, a 78-yard run for Belle Vernon, made it 7-0. There was a bad snap on the TJ kick. That made it 7-6, excuse me. TJ made it was 7. To play in the first quarter, and then with a minute 58 to play in the first quarter, a 30-yard touchdown run by Max Shaw. Mashenko's extra point at that point made it 15-7, and then the touchdown we talked about, a 35-yard touchdown pass from Stump to Diebner with 13.2 seconds to play in the first half, and that's where we sit now with the score 22-7 in favor of Thomas Jefferson over Belle Vernon. We take you now to Don Rebel and Chris Harlan for the Trib Live halftime show. You are listening to and watching WPIAL Football 2018 right here on the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
Welcome to the Week 2 edition of the halftime show on the Trib Live High School Sports Network. Our video stream game of the week is Thomas Jefferson against Belle Vernon. Second half action coming up. Don Rebel, the dapper Chris Harlan. Christopher, you look like you're doing a halftime show.
Got the jacket out today. I like that.
Wow. Makes me look like amateur hour, which is what they pay me to do around here. But anyway, TJ Belle Vernon, the Big 8 conference. Dare we call this the championship game? It's only week 2, but really the winner of this game becomes the team to beat in this call.
Right. I mean, it is. And both coaches said, you know, it's only week 2, and they didn't want to put too much stock into it because they have a feeling that they could see each other down the road somewhere. With only 8 teams making the playoffs, last year they ran into each other on the same half and had to play in the semifinals. But yeah, this is a big one. And both teams, it's kind of funny that I talked to Bill Trepak. He said, rarely do they get this feeling. They don't have the big game in the season very often because they roll so many teams. But he was kind of enjoying it. He said he liked this kind of newfound rivalry they have with Belle Vernon.
Well, at least early on. I mean, they've had a lot of showdowns with West Mifflin in week 9. Last year, Belle Vernon was week 7. And if you listen to the Rebel Yell podcast, this is a cheap plug here today, you'll know that this conference, it's been over 20 years since anyone not named Thomas Jefferson, Belle Vernon, or West Mifflin won it. Can you name me the last team to win this conference that's not named Thomas Jefferson, Belle Vernon, or West Mifflin?
No.
Think in this area. Well, think of Thomas Jefferson. Think of West Mifflin. What's the school that's sort of Steel Valley? That's Steel Valley. All right. Anyway, we're not here to talk history of this conference. We're here to talk players to watch. That's our theme here in week 2. And because these are 2 of the heavyweights in all of Class 4A, each team has really a stud player that we've seen here in the first half, and we'll see more of in the second.
Yeah, Thomas Jefferson has a quarterback in Shane Stump, a guy who last year was a sophomore. We saw the potential there. I mean, he led him all the way to a WPIAL title, into the state playoffs, and he was a guy that for a couple of years here, Bill Chirpak has said he's going to be really good. And I think this year we're starting to see it. And Chirpak says how much of a different player he is from a year ago. He's a guy now who's a playmaker. Last year he was kind of the game manager. He went out there and didn't make mistakes. This year they're counting on him a lot more. And I talked to Matt Humbert at Belle Vernon, and he said, his assessment of him was just how accurate he was. He said, looking at him at film, how this year he's just so much more accurate and how tough that is to deal with when you have a quarterback who just doesn't make mistakes and doesn't throw the ball offline a whole lot.
Halftime of the Thomas Jefferson Belle Vernon game, Don Rebel, Chris Harlan. We're talking players to watch. We talked about these two teams being well represented. What about elsewhere in Class 4A?
Yeah, I think there's an interesting one. You mentioned West Mifflin earlier. Parrish Parker is a player who is a really talented player, committed to Howard, had some FBS offers, went with this year we've had a number of WPIAL guys commit to Howard. They've done a good job of recruiting him, but he's a running back, defensive back. People know him as a defensive back. This year, though, he's taken over as the main runner there and has really made an impact for West Mifflin already. Another name to watch, how about Johnny Kreis from Highlands? Great big receiver, 6'7". He's a guy that has basketball offers. Everyone knows him as a basketball player, but he's gone out this year and put up some big numbers. And I think he might have a decision maybe to make in a year or two. He's only a junior. But, maybe in a year, will some college coaches come in and say, you know what, we could probably use a 6'7" wide receiver. Do you think maybe they'll come in and make him an offer and he'll have some decisions to make? We'll see. He's a pretty good athlete.
Huge week last week in week one, even though Highlands came up short against Keystone Oaks. The overall WPIAL landscape, is this a good year as far as the senior talent is concerned, Division I players are concerned, as compared to maybe in recent years?
There's some really good talent at the very top. We got some big ones, like an Andrew Kristofic, a tackle from Pine Richland, already committed to Notre Dame. He'll be going there to block for his old teammate Phil Jerkovic next year. Joey Porter Jr. at North Allegheny. You'll know his dad, Joey Porter, the former Steeler linebacker and assistant coach. His son's a wide receiver, defensive back, has offers from all over the country. I know LSU flew up here just to see him. They got on a plane, came up here to just see him in Pittsburgh.
That doesn't happen that often.
They don't, no. And that's a school that doesn't do that. He does. 6'2" cornerback. That makes him exceptional. Another guy I got to mention is MJ Devonshire, a defensive back, wide receiver at Aliquippa. He's already in 2 weeks returned 4 punts for touchdowns. 3 of them last week. I think at some point coaches are probably going to stop kicking to him.
Some of the players to watch in this game and around the WPIAL here during this edition of the Halftime Show. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
All right, for Chris Harlan, I'm Don Rebel. Enjoy the second half. Leopards and Jaguars. Now let's check out some of the top plays from Week 1. Here's Kylie Owak.
We're officially underway with the 2018 regular season of WPIAL football. Hi, I'm Kylie Owak, and Week 1 was last weekend. And it's time to pick what was the call of the week. We start with Jeanette at Leechburg, where the Jayhawks dominated the game. Perhaps the most exciting of it all was this play. Mike Sapone had the call on WHJB 107.1 FM.
This is the squibber, right down the middle. Zach Bergen picks it up at the 13. He's up to the 25, breaks the tackle, to the 35, to 40. He's up to the 50. What's the football sitting on the near sideline? To the 25, the 20. Jackson Paul at the block for him. He's in the end zone. Touchdown, Zach Bergen. And the Jayhawks start off the second half with a kickoff return for a touchdown. It's now 24-0.
The other top call of the week took place in our video game of the week. Pittsburgh Central Catholic wasted little time in the first quarter throwing the deep ball. Here's our own Matt Vandriak.
Out of the shotgun, bad snap, Pito able to recover. Has time, Pito pumps down, fires downfield, has a man behind the defense going up and making the catch, touchdown, Central Catholic. Gavin Thompson, half man, half amazing as he goes up and gets it. Big play for the Vikings, 38-yard touchdown pass.
Share with your friends and leave a comment to let us know your pick for Call of the Week. I'll see you next week with the top sounds from Week 2.
Thank you very much, Kylie, and thank you, Dawn and Chris. Paul Patera, Lou Rude, back with you at Belle Vernon Area High School, James K. Weir Stadium. Also, looks like it's subsided for the most part. This is Class 4A Big East Conference football. Nice little rivalry between these two teams. Thomas Jefferson leads Belle Vernon 22-7. Lou Rude working on getting some scores for you. We'll give them to you momentarily here. We've got some scores from some people out at the stands. I want to thank my brother Doug and Kristen Sinty. Doug at the Norwin Hempfield game, Kristen Sinty at the Penn Trafford Connellsville game. Friends of the network helping us out with some scores. And as soon as Lou gives me the high sign, I will send it to him for some scores. Next week, Belle Vernon will be on the road to take on Laurel Highlands. Thomas Jefferson will be at home to play Indiana. And we heard before the game the new high school at Thomas Jefferson. And moving into that school as early as December. That was the word before the game. Belle Vernon Area Marching Band getting ready to take the field. The Thomas Jefferson Band already with a nice performance that ended with Bon Jovi's classic hit, Living on a Prayer. We'll see what the Belle Vernon Area Band has in store for us. Band festivals just around the corner, and there are some great bands in the western Pennsylvania area, so if you get a chance to see any of them, please do yourself a favor and do that. You are ready, Mr. Rude?
I got as many as I could. I'm still missing some, but I've got.
Give us what you got.
I've got a few. All right, let's start in 6A in the conference up there. Since there is only one conference, we don't have to identify it. North Allegheny 7, Pittsburgh Central Catholic nothing. Seneca Valley over Cannon McMillan 14-0. Mount Lebanon leading Butler 28-7. Norwin over Hempfield 13-7. That's 6A scores. 5A Allegheny 8 conference. Bethel Park and West Allegheny in a good one, tied 21-21. Baldwin leading Upper St. Clair, somewhat of a surprise there, 14-7. It's Peters Township over Woodland Hills 13-0. In the B5A Big East Conference, Gateway over Plum 35-0. McKeesport over Albert Gallatin 42-0. Latrobe over Franklin Regional 14-0. And Penn Trafford over Connellsville 14-0. 5A Northern Conference, it is North Hills 7, Kiski Area 3. It's also Penn Hills over Fox Chapel 38-0. Hampton over Shaler 7-0. Pine Richland over Moon in a 6A versus 5A non-conference game 42-7. No report on Chartiers Valley and Armstrong. 5A versus 4A. Mars leading Greensburg-Salem 28-0. 4A Northwest 8 Conference. South Fayette 26, Newcastle 0. Northwest 8 Conference, Blackhawk 21, Highlands 7. Northwest 8 Conference, it's Beaver 14, Knox 7. Big A Conference, our score here is 22-7, TJ over Belle Vernon. No report on Trinity West Mifflin or Indiana Ringgold. 4A non-conference, Montour leads Laurel Highlands 19-0. 4A versus 3A non-conference, it's Ambridge over Waynesburg 14-0. 3A Tri-County West Conference, Aliquippa 47, Quaker Valley 0. 3A Tri-County West Conference, Beaver Falls 21, Central Valley 7. No report on Keystone Oaks and Hopewell. North Catholic leading Freeport 40-0. EF leading Burrell 37-0. And Deer Lakes leading Uniontown 33-6. And Yawk leading Mount Pleasant 16-7. 3A non-conference, Derry leading South Park 27-6. 2A Allegheny Conference, it's Steel Valley 23, Avonworth 10. Shadyside Academy 36, Valley 6. Freedom 22, Riverside nothing in the Midwestern Athletic Conference. Neshannock leading Mohawk 14-13. And New Brighton leading Elwood City 14-6. 2A Century Conference, McGuffey 21, Fraser 21. Century Conference also, it's Beth Center 28, Brownsville 6, Southmoreland 30, Carmichael 6. 2A Three Rivers Conference, Brentwood and Seton LaSalle 0-0. Southside Beaver over Sarah Catholic 20-7. And it is Burgettstown 21, Fort Cherry 0. 2A non-conference, South Allegheny leading East Allegheny 10-0. No report on Apollo Ridge, Carlinton, or Summit Academy and Washington. 1A Big 7 Conference, Stowe Rocks 44, Union nothing. Laurel 44, Bishop Canevin 6. West Green 27, Shar Houston 0. California 31, Avella nothing. Jeff Morgan 26, Mapletown nothing. Eastern Conference, Jeanette leading Imani Christian 21-6. And Clairton leading Greensburg Central Catholic 26-0. And Paul, those are the ones I have scores on.
Got an update, and Hempfield has overtaken Norwin 14-13 in the third quarter. An update on that one. A couple of them scores interesting. People are wondering if Baldwin's for real. They're leading Upper St. Clair. And Aliquippa losing in the WPIAL Championship game last year 2-0, putting a spanking on Quaker Valley. I guess maybe a little revenge there.
You think?
Perhaps. Score of this one, as Lou mentioned, 22-7. Thomas Jefferson leading Belle Vernon at the half. The music here in the background is the Belle Vernon Area Marching Band. So they're entertaining us here. And we will take a break. I just gave you the score, told you it's halftime. You're watching WPIAL Football 2018 on the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
A program just for you. Seton Hill's adult degree program offers flexible undergraduate degree courses in areas like accounting, criminal justice, business, and human services. The adult degree program has 5 start dates a year and offers convenient course times, financial aid, a 96% placement rate, and career services for life. Register for our next info session and learn more at setonhill.edu/ADP. Seton Hill University, this way up.
There's a new fear, not of better options, of rising loan rates. It's real. Rates have gone up, and Dollar Bank still has one of the lowest around. With a rate as low as 3.29% APR with only $50,000 borrowed, fixed for 7 years, there's nothing to fear. You can renovate the kitchen or update a bathroom or 2. So lock in your rate now before they, well, I don't want to say it out loud. If choosing the better option is your worry, you can be confident that Dollar Bank's loan experts have only your best interests in mind, since they're not paid a commission. So lock in your rate before they go up again. Get those home improvements done with a rate as low as 3.29% APR, fixed for 7 years. Longer terms are available. Stop by, call 1-800-242-BANK, or visit dollar.bank. Dollar Bank, mutually inspired. Rate is for well-qualified borrowers and includes a discount with a maintained qualifying checking account. Not available for the refinance of a Dollar Bank loan, line, or mortgage of less than $15,000 in new money. Monthly payment of $13.34 per $1,000 borrowed. Other terms and conditions apply. Subject to change without notice. Equal housing lender.
Check out the new Trib Live High School Sports Network on social media this season for breaking news, scores, pictures, videos, links to our articles, and more. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram under the handle Trib Live HSSN. Get in the conversation on Facebook at facebook.com/TribLiveHSSN. And on our YouTube channel, you can find thousands of interviews with local student athletes and coaches, plus highlights and full games. The spot for Western Pennsylvania high school sports on social media this season is the new Trib Live High School Sports Network.
Paul Patera, Lou Rude back at Belle Vernon Area High School. The 8th conference battle. Belle Vernon Area Marching Band still giving us a little halftime performance here, Lou. Couple of quick statistics. Shane Stump, 5 of 7 for 115 yards. Max Shaw's run the ball 12 times for 148 yards. Mason Pasco for Belle Vernon, 14 carries, 186 yards in the first half. So some good offensive numbers for both teams in the first half, but the scoreboard belongs to the Jaguars of Thomas Jefferson with that 22-7 score.
Turnovers have played a key factor in the game. Belle Vernon had a turnover early when they had a shot at a field goal. Bad snap, resulted in no points. And then right here at the end, when they fumbled the ball, couldn't have the opportunity to run the clock out or punt it away. TJ gets it with 19.6 seconds and scores, right at the end of the half, which was a dagger right there. It's going to be difficult for Coach Matt Humbert to get his team together and get them ready to play here in the second half, but I'm sure he will try.
Yeah, those turnovers usually are a factor, and as Lou mentioned, they are here tonight as well. And is it time to go down to the sidelines?
I think it might be.
All right, we'll take you down to the sidelines, and Shelby Casassi with a special guest.
She had spinal fusion surgery to repair a 60-degree curve in her back. And just kind of talk to me about the recovery process. I mean, you had surgery 8 weeks ago, and now you're back out here on the field. So what did it take to get to that point?
Well, as hard as it is to believe, the day after my surgery, I got up and was walking. So ever since then, I've just been walking and building up my strength and confidence and getting back on my feet. So, it's all led up to being able to cheer and dance again. So
now it's your final year here at Belle Vernon. Why was it so important for you to come back here, cheer your final year on the sidelines with your team?
Well, cheer and dance have been my passion since I was 3, so getting back out here for my final year, it's kind of emotional because, this is everything I've ever known, so being that this is kind of a setback, I didn't want it to get in my way.
And how have your teammates been through all of this? I'm sure supportive and, cheering you on the whole way.
Absolutely. They're awesome, so they believe in me and they cheer me on through every step of the way.
I've heard through the grapevine you've set some goals for yourself. The earliest one was to get to Taylor Swift over the summer, get back out here and cheer, and you have a few longer-term goals. What are those?
So I want to be able to dance in my dance recital this summer. Obviously, I want to be able to get back into fully being able to jump and stun and everything by the end of the season. So
now you mentioned dance is your passion, cheering's your passion. What got you into it, and why do you love it so much?
Ever since I was little, my older cousins actually danced before me, and I used to dance in the aisles at their dance recital, so that's how I knew that was going to be my passion.
Thank you so much, Bailey. Bailey Martin, a senior cheerleader here for Belle Vernon, back on the field after 8 weeks ago having spinal fusion surgery. Back to you guys.
And a half. Belle Vernon Leopards in the green jerseys, green pants, gold. White jerseys, white pants, black numerals, black sleeve on the jerseys, numerals, as we mentioned, in black helmet with TJ in gold on the helmet.
And, of course, remind everybody next Friday and Saturday conference play continues around the WPIAL. And the Trib High School Sports Network has at least 30 broadcasts for Week 3, including our video stream Game of the Week, Penn Hills at
say will get the ball to start the second half. Enjoyed hearing that story of Bailey Martin, the cheerleader for Belle Vernon. And she is quite a story, and I love the part where she said, "You're not going to believe this, but the day after my surgery, I was up and walking." This was after spinal fusion surgery.
Spinal fusion, and from my understanding, she has 2 rods in her back and 16-some pins as well.
She's one tough cookie.
Yes, she is. And just being out on the field, walking around is impressive, considering, and from what I understand, it was 2 months ago today that the surgery took place.
So for 2 months, she's out there with the cheerleaders.
Right.
Fantastic story.
Unreal.
Great job by Shelby Casassi giving us that story on Bailey Martin. Officiating crew back on the field. Dave Barry's your referee tonight, along with Bill Schottenheimer, Paul Koval, Kevin Rombach, Alex Beasley, and Gino Sedlak.
And, of course, we want to welcome Shelby to the team joining us this week. A great addition to our video streaming broadcast. The one thing him out of the park.
Absolutely. I just love watching Bill Chirpak and his coaching staff. They're just so intense out there, and it just had so much success. About this one before the game ends, and if you just joined us and you're watching the game and you're like, that field looks weird. Yes, they have gold turf.
To the school board about the possibility of putting new turf in here. They said, hey, we've got a new style of turf, and we could do it for you at a discounted rate with the gold if you wish it, because it would be the first field of its type using this new process that AstroTurf had east of the Mississippi River. Previously, they'd done it out west. And so Belle Vernon said, hey, yeah, let's go for it. They wanted something unique. And so you hear a lot of things about this gold field. You hear people hate it. You hear people love it. The thing that matters is the students at Belle Vernon unique to them. Idea. It looks like a beach. When you're playing Belle Vernon, you're at the beach. So let's protect the beach. And they came up with all those ideas and those slogans. And the kids absolutely love this gold turf. You know, and no matter how many knocks go against it, we've heard from the USA Today and some other people have been outspoken. You got to be here in person to see it. It looks a lot better in person than it might look on picture. As the western part of the country, and ask, is that really gold turf? Is that the way it's supposed to look? Yes, it's the way it's supposed to look.
Second half kickoff. And 10 at its 20. Of course, you think of fields like Boise State University has the blue turf, and I think it's
an alternating light and dark gray.
I've seen fields like that as well. I think
and
Lindenwood
it turned out
College
really
is
nice.
Another one that has something like that. First and 10, Thomas Jefferson at its 20, led by their quarterback, Shane Stump. Max Shaw, the tailback, has been the big gun for the Thomas Jefferson offense. Jaguars going from right to left. Give to the tailback, Shaw. Shaw gets back to the line.
And on the tackle as he slides in there quickly and just undercuts the legs of Shaw with a little bit of help there from Anthony Bertram. But Pilata made the main play there.
Second and 10, Thomas. Then a player in the Thomas Jefferson huddle has just collapsed on his back. Concerned, but it looks like a cramp, and it's still a humid night. Those cramps still do happen.
Yeah, the weather has not broken yet. It is still a very humid night. Locations in the South Hills. They have multiple wash packages available to keep your car looking its very dressing and Magic Repel. And remember, there's an easier way to wash your car. Check them out online at MrMagicCarWash.com. Time. Buick, Cadillac, Ford, Honda. Team. This year they're celebrating 35 years of business. Visit their new location in Connellsville. For more information, go to charper.com.
And that was Max Shaw who came off the field with the cramp, but he was able to walk over to the sidelines, but he will have to come off for at least a play. So it'll be second and 10, Thomas Jefferson. And the referee, there was people on the second and 10 at the 20. I backfilled for the Jaguars. Twins to the near side of the field. Stump. Back the pass. He's going to throw one deep. Diebner's behind the secondary. Juggling catch in stride. But Diebner on a foot race to the end zone for an 80-yard touchdown pass.
Nolan Labuda and made it look easy, and Stump just laid it in there. And the ball is thrown perfectly, hits him in stride. He never even had to break stride. And Diebner is gone. A huge play for TJ to open the second half.
That's the 5th time those two have hooked up for a touchdown already this season. And we Diebner to hold. Mashenko's kick is dead, solid, perfect. 11:22 to play in the third quarter. Now injured. You are watching WPIAL Football 2018 on the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
Social media this season for breaking news, scores, pictures, videos, links to our articles, and more. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram under the handle TribLiveHSSN. Get in the conversation on Facebook at facebook.com/TribLiveHSSN. And on our YouTube channel, you can find thousands of interviews with local student athletes and coaches, plus highlights and full games. The spot for Western Pennsylvania high school sports on social media this season is the new Trib Live High School Sports Network.
Coming up after the game, it's the WPIAL football score. Scores and recaps from week 2 of WPIAL football. Don't miss the WPIAL football scoreboard show after the game, only here on the Trib Live High School Sports Network. And we got a Belle Vernon.
I think that's the number.
That is, it's number 1. It's Anthony Bertram. So we've only played 38 seconds of the second half, had a couple of number 1s going down with cramps and an 80-yard touchdown pass. That takes Stump over 200 yards passing, and all of his completions have been to Diebner. They've got some water on the field, try to get some water into Bertram. They're trying to loosen up that leg a little bit. The gold helmet coming off for Anthony Bertram, trying to loosen up that leg. And as I mentioned before, you get a cramp, those buggers hurt.
Oh, and it's been very hot and humid here in Western Pennsylvania. It's cooled off a little bit tonight. I mean, temperature right now is 72 degrees after the rain, but still, if you haven't hydrated properly going into the game, it's too late to hydrate at that point in time. I know that's one thing we always used to beat into our players. Play in weather like this.
And he trots off the field, which is a good sign. Can you keep fruit in the locker room at halftime?
We always did. We have bananas always and oranges. And another thing we always kept in there, gummy bears to give the kids sugar to rebuild their sugar back up too.
So Mashenko to kick off, Callaway and Pasco go deep. Okay, battling the cramps.
And then you'd have the electrolyte drinks and obviously water. So, but the thing is, if you're cramping up now, you can stave them off for so you get sick of drinking is what it amounts to, so that you can maintain in this weather.
Mashenko teeing it up for the TJ Jaguars. (10, 15, 20, far side, 30, 35, out of bounds. So it's 1st and 10, Belle Vernon at its 37. Leopards trailing the Thomas Jefferson Jaguars 29-7.
And this is going to be a key drive for Belle Vernon. You know, they have to get some points on the board this time down. And then they have to try and get a stop on TJ because, you know, back-to-back touchdowns by the Jaguars the last 2 times they've had the ball have opened this game up from a 15-7, 8-point difference.
run play. Shotgun formation. Man in motion, fake to him, give the ball to Pasco off the right side. He breaks a tackle. Pasco over the 45. Ball is loose. There's a scramble. Player Danielson lost his helmet. Now we're waiting to see who's got the ball. And it's still no indication. Thomas Jefferson foot. Jefferson recovers first and
breaks through the hole there. Breaks a tackle, is moving forward. Let's see if that ball comes loose before he goes down.
Yes.
Poked the ball free for TJ. Did a beautiful job punching that ball out. Fumble recovery, and it is a cramp for Diebner. And
now he's being attended to. That's 3 plays in a row where a player has cramped up.
Let's hope it doesn't become an epidemic. And if it had been a soccer match, there would have been about 20 minutes of stoppage.
.11:05 now to play in the third quarter. It's 29-7 in favor of Thomas Jefferson. Volleyball. Coming off the field under his own power. And it'll be 1st and 10, Thomas Jefferson at
defensively has to find a way to stop the Jaguars right now. The only thing that helps on this play is Diebner's going to be on the sideline, but there's
Shaw.
a lot as Shaw, but there's
Is
still
Shaw,
some
no, is he
weapons out there.
No, I don't see Shaw out there either. So they're without their 2 main weapons in Shaw and Diebner. The tailback for Thomas Jefferson is number 23 in the ball game, Dylan Malazzi. Twins off to the right side. Stump gives the ball to the fullback for Derber.
On a quick guard trap. Guard pulls number 50. Barrett makes a nice block, and where Derber goes right up in the hole for a 4-yard gain. Barrett has had a nice game on both sides of the ball tonight for the Jaguars.
But you know Thomas Jefferson is good at burning the clock.
Oh yeah,
they are quite adept at that. 2nd and 6, ball at the 42.
Paul, you don't win as many games as Bill Chirpak has won and as many championships as he's won without knowing what you're doing. He's an outstanding coach.
They will burn the play clock down. And he's going to be dropped for a loss. No, he's fighting forward. He actually but it looked like that was going to be a loss.
Yeah. For no gain, bounces off of one, puts his head down, and just kind of drives his leg forward to pick up positive yardage. And, both schools here are blessed that they have 2 very good coaches. Matt Humbert, an up-and-coming young coach, is legend for TJ.
Give to the tailback, Malazzi on the 3rd and 5. He is close to the sticks. Coach Chirpak just throws.
They can lose however many players, and you've probably heard the phrase, you don't reload, you don't rebuild, you reload. TJ reloads. And it's just
the 6 of Belle Vernon, quarterback keeper, right up the gut goes. Run by Stump. Now Belle Vernon, Thomas Jefferson has the first down. 1st and 10 at the Belle Vernon 33. Stump under center, and he's going to have to call a timeout. 8:46 to play in the third quarter. It's 29-7. Thomas Jefferson leads Belle Vernon. It's the first time out for Thomas Jefferson here in the second half. Do we need a break?
People ask what drives me. It's the respect I have for my opponents, the trust I have in my teammates, a coach who treats me with dignity, and a university that has faith in me on and off the field. That's what keeps me focused, why I practice harder, play my heart out. I play to win. I play for Carlo. Tell us your story using #WhatDriveSYou.
Carlo University is a proud sponsor of the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
Reminder, coming up after the game is the WPIAL Football Scoreboard Show with Don Rebel from the new Trib. Of the WPIAL football. Don't miss the WPIAL Football Scoreboard Show after the game, only here on the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
Paul Patera, Lou Rude at Belle Vernon Area High School's James K. Weir Stadium. 8:46 to play in the third. Showdown. Thomas Jefferson leads Belle Vernon 29-7. A score from Class 6A. Norwin leads Hempfield 21-14. That one kind of a seesaw affair. Back on the field. Line with cramps, and there's another player being attended to on the sidelines as well for Thomas Jefferson. That's number 50, Darius Barrett, who's had a big game for the Jaguars. So some key players cramping up for the Jaguars. Twins to the near side of the field, backs in the eye. The deep man, Dylan Malazzi. Stump looking to pass, getting some pressure. He's sacked, and the ball was loose, and it's from the left side there, and Stump never saw him.
He didn't. That's the classic back. And Johnson just comes off the edge. Well, we don't see it. And he gets just leveled in the ball. Now you see it from a little further back, and you can see Stump never saw him, never had a chance on the play.
Belle Vernon at its 34-yard line. Leopards will go from left to right. Looking for Diebner, and Thomas Jefferson's confused. And a man just finally does go out, and then there's the snap. There was confusion. Hartman takes a bounce snap. That threw Belle Vernon off.
Yeah, well, what happened, you couldn't see, but a young man, I think he left his mouthpiece on the field. He ran out on the field to retrieve. He had 12 on the field, but he just grabbed his mouthpiece and scrambled right back off again. But you're right, it was confusion out there. And grabbing his mouthpiece ended up throwing Belle Vernon off.
2nd and 13, Belle Vernon at its 31. I backfield, Hartman under center. Gives the ball to the tailback, Mason Pasco. He gets to the
TJ sniffed it out and was able to make the stop.
Wide to the left for the Belle Vernon Leopards is Nolan Labuda. Wide near side, Hunter Rukonen. Two backs to the left of Hartman, who was in the shotgun. Hartman, option left, keeps the football, gets to the 40, fights to the sticks to the 40.
In fact, they got two of them.
Diebner's coming over to the sidelines. He was out there that play. So Thomas Jefferson, several players cramping up for the Jaguars.
Belle Vernon player down as well. So that time Belle Vernon tried to run a speed option, and Hartman made a nice fake. He takes it up the field, makes a nice play there to get the first down, and we've got dueling cramps out on the field, a pair of Jaguars down and a Leopard.
One of the Jaguars was James Martinez, a linebacker. I did not catch who the other one was, and I do not know who the Belle Vernon player is who was down.
I can't see the number on the Belle Vernon player.
7:12 to play in the third quarter. It's 29-7. We got a close-up view. It's 45 for Belle Vernon.
That's Rogue, Gage Rogue.
Gage Rogue. And the other Thomas Jefferson player I do not know. 29-7, Thomas Jefferson leading Belle Vernon. And the trainers are getting their money's worth tonight, tending to several cramping up players on this humid Friday evening.
Well, let's take care of this bit of business here. In the South Hills. They have multiple wash packages available to keep your car looking its very best. Give your car the works to give it that showroom shine with the added tire dressing and Magic Repel. MrMagicCarWash.com or visit a location near you to keep your car clean, shiny, and dry every time. And if you're looking for a new car, look no further than C. Harper Auto Group. Chevy, Buick, Cadillac, Ford, Honda, Kia, commercial trucks, and service. With C. Harper, it's just that easy with your winning C. Harper team. This year, they're celebrating 35 years of business. Visit their new location in Connellsville. For more information, go to charper.com. Our favorite kind of music playing.
Absolutely, some AC/DC.
A little bit of Back in Black.
7:12 to play in the third quarter. All three players taken off the field, Martinez, Rogue, and Werdeber for Thomas Jefferson, the other player injured. And Diebner walked off the field as well. Press coverage near side, and then Van Bibber backs off a bit. Man in motion. Labuda from left to right. He'll line up in the slot. Hartman under center on the 1st and 10. Gives the ball to Mason Pasco off the right side. He's got room. Pasco on the races. He's at the 25, the 20. Catch me if you can. Mason Pasco. Just took off, and it was a foot race, and there was nobody catching him. So that makes it 29-13. A big turnover on the game.
And he ran into the kicker, so
to play in the third quarter, 29-14. Belle Vernon will probably have to do that somewhere along the line. I don't know if that's the choice Matt Humbert will make right now. We will see.
And what a play by Mason Pasco. That's twice now he's exploded up the middle on huge runs.
So it looks like they're going to keep the point on the board and make it 29-14. I've got Pasco, 254 yards rushing on 17 carries. And the penalty will be assessed on the kickoff. 29-14 is the score. Jefferson's losing a lot of players. Cramp.
And cramps yet, luckily for the Leopard. Great running backs over. Another one sitting right next to me here in the broadcast. 1,400 yards rushing his senior year. Went to the semifinals, lost. Kosovic, two other great running backs at Belle Vernon. Mason Pasco putting on a show tonight, though, for the Leopards.
So guess we'll kick off at the 45-yard line after the penalty.
Watch out over the hill if he kicks it at full tilt from here. Easy that time.
It's 20-yard line. Jaguars going. And we've got another play. It's Shaw cramping up again. Him and Diebner have been battling the stays on the field. So 1st and 10, Thomas Jefferson at its 20. Now with a 15-point lead, when it looked like the Jaguars were getting ready to put this game away.
And Diebner stays on the sideline.
Coming off the sidelines are number 32, that's Trevor Barrett, number 10, Ian Hansen, and number 6, Bowen Dame. I backfield. Shaw is the tailback. 7 in the box for Belle Vernon. Fake to Shaw. Stump bobbles the ball, and he's in a heap of trouble. And he's
could bootleg here. Or just a bad exchange, and there was nowhere to go. And he did the smart thing. Get on the ground fast. No sense in taking any punishment there. As the Belle Vernon Leopards had him completely encircled.
And Shaw comes over to the sidelines. Those cramps must be bothering him. It is second. Receivers to the right. Nathan
Again, just that quick trap you're going to see here. Barrett pulls through, gets a great trap block. And the center and guard get on the linebackers, and next thing you know, you've got a huge hole there.
Darius Barrett is back on the offensive line for Thomas Jefferson, lining up at Shane Stump under center. Stump gives the ball to the fullback, Werdeber, fighting, gets to
actually.
But there's a stoppage. So to put the ball back to the 18-yard line, and that'll make it a 3rd and 12 for the Jaguars. 5:18 on the turning clock to play in the third quarter. It's 29-14. Thomas Jefferson leading Belle Vernon. Stump takes the snap. Fakes, throws the middle screen. The pass is complete to Hansen. Hansen's over the 20.
It's a good thing Pilata
and now
sniffed that out, because Hansen had a long way he could run. Screen to the right, and Pilata, if he doesn't make that tackle, there was a lot of room for Hansen to run, and now he's cramping up. And
Thomas Jefferson, players dropping with the cramps there in the second half, and that could be a big factor the rest of this ball game. Shaw's over on the sideline. He hasn't been able to go very much. Diebner. Werdeber was over the sidelines, but he came back in. Martinez was walked off the field very slowly. Barrett's back in, and now Hansen. Now Hansen's going to walk on the field. He looks to be in pretty good shape.
It's going to be the first punt for TJ tonight.
I believe you are correct. Mashenko punting for the first time. Rukonen and Labuda going deep for Belle Vernon. The Leopards should get pretty good field position, although we he booms it. Labuda settles under it at the 42 of Belle Vernon, slips but keeps his balance at the 45, far side, wrestled down.
They're pointing towards Belle Vernon. Might be a
very shortly, but good field position for the Belle Vernon Leopards. That's same around.
So Z-League, they only
the sack, stump fumbled. Belle Vernon got the ball. Pasco scored a touchdown. Now Belle Vernon has it 1st and 10 at the 47 of Thomas Jefferson. There's still 4:24 to play in the third quarter.
Yeah, and momentum is slid over to the Leopards right now.
Thomas Jefferson losing a lot of key players to cramps. Looking for Shaw and Diebner.
Diebner's right down there, bent over by about the 28-yard line.
Hartman under center. One back behind him. There's a wing back off to the right side. Offset eye this time for the Leopards. Give to Pasco. Pasco tries the right side, squirts through the hole.
And just squeezes his way through.
2nd and 7 for the Leopards. Trailing 29-14, but have the ball at the 44-yard. Empty backfield this time. Hartman in the shotgun. A receiver and wingback each way. Now Pasco in motion goes back to the backfield. Fake to him. Hartman keeps the football. Hartman gets to the 40 of Thomas.
Reed, and Hartman's had success tonight with that. Here he reads the defense, pulls it, and heads up through the middle, and gets a nice gain. So a good read by Jared Hartman.
3rd and 3 for Belle Vernon at the Thomas Jefferson 40. Rogue.
And now he's down.
And he's going to stay down.
And there was nothing there. The line. In a hurry.
Rogue down for the second time with Rogue being attended to. You're doing that little massager on his right leg, and he looks to be in some pain. So 4th and 4 here for Matt Humbert. Ball at the Thomas Jefferson 41-yard line. What's he going to go with?
To be honest, he's been whether it's a toss, I would want to put the ball in Pasco's hands to see what he can do. He's been the one consistent player for Belle Vernon all evening. I mean, Hartman's done well running the ball, but what's Pasco got? He get close to 200.
I got him with 257.
At 257 towards 300, so
4th and back to his right. Trips to the near side of the field for the Leopards. Thomas Jefferson rushes 4. Hartman takes the snap, keeps the football. He's stacked up, he's fighting, and he will not get the first down. Yard line.
Nowhere to run. That's 63 and 50 for TJ.
50 is Barrett.
And 63 is Dom Scarapiglia.
And another Thomas Jefferson player down, and that's Barrett again. He's been down a couple of times.
Well, Barrett and Scarapiglia earned their keep on that one.
Jefferson 29, Belle Vernon 14.
We can take a break, Paul.
Let's do that then. I just gave you the score. Let me remind you, you're watching WPIAL Football 2018 on the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
Sports Network website every day. Log on to hssn.triblive.com for all the schedules, the scores, the standings, great articles, and features from around the WPIAL. And of course, live and archived broadcasts. If you are a high school sports fan, the only website you will need is the new Trib Live High School Sports Network at hssn.triblive.com.
2:18 to play in the fourth quarter at James Weir Stadium. Belle Vernon. The humidity has been getting to these players here in the second half. Several of them down on the field due to cramps. Darius Barrett, second time he's battled them, and he's coming over to the sidelines. Thomas Jefferson. I'm Paul Patera. Lou Root is here as well. A lot of, been a long second half. Just
injuries.
A lot of, and none of them serious, which is good. But
cramps.
And Barrett comes over to the sidelines. Shaw still over on the sidelines, trying to stretch out to get back in there. He was back on the field for one play. Diebner is. Going from right to left. Hansen in motion from right to left. Comes out of the slot, goes wide near side. Give to the tailback, a new tailback in the game, Van Bibber, and he is.
Yep. And it looks like number 1. Yep, that is number 1. That is Anthony Bertram. And this is his second or third time down for cramps tonight. And again, as I said, Paul, I coached for a long time, and I know what we used to tell our players. And if you're at this point in a game and you're cramping up, you can get them back for a few. The fluids into it to recover, short of taking them into a locker room and having a nurse stick an IV in them and running the fluids straight into them. You just don't have the time to recover. I hate to say this, but we're going to see this the rest of the game from both teams.
Yeah, Bertram still on his back, still being attended to. As they're still working on Anthony Bertram. Belle Vernon next week on the road to take on Laurel Highlands.
And Laurel
another conference game.
Laurel was losing 19-0 the last I checked.
Thomas Jefferson will host Hempfield 28-20. Norton, of course, led by talented offer from the University of Pittsburgh. And still tending to Anthony Bertram down on the field. A player has gone down with the cramps, and it is a warm, humid evening. We did have a deluge of rain in the first half for about 10, maybe 15 minutes. but obviously it's still humid out there, and they're still working on the leg of Bertram. And then looking on the sidelines, Max Shaw's only been able to come back on the field for one play. He's still on the sidelines. Diebner was being stretched out. He's still on the sidelines. Barrett came off the field with cramps. Hansen did. Martinez. And for Belle Vernon, Rogue and Bertram, that's at least 7 players, and I know I'm forgetting somebody who has been cramped up here tonight. And they have got Bertram up, and he's going to hobble over to the side. And yeah, when it initially hits, it hurts.
Yeah, you can't hydrate quickly enough to recover. This, for the kids that are cramping up like crazy, it's going to be a 2 to 3 day recovery process. Just getting the fluids and the electrolytes into them to heal the body, to get that lactic acid out of the body. That's what causes the cramps.
There's a pitch to Van Bibber on the sweep. Good cutback move. Gets up to midfield for a gain of 5. It'll be 3rd and 5 for the TJ Jaguars at the 50. Oh, but he's not cramped. He's going back into the huddle. I mean, I know it's tough to play. It's tough to play football. You got all those pads on, and it's hot out.
You're carrying about 15 to 20 pounds of extra weight between the helmet, the shoulder pads, and all the other pads that you wear.
On the 3rd and 6 play, TJ at its 49. I backfield. Give to the fullback. First down and more. And a touchdown. That tackle, that might be a TJ touchdown.
Yeah, Jake kicks out where Derber just breaks through, and if Jake Fine doesn't make the tackle, he's gone.
Final minute of the 3rd quarter, 29-4. Vernon. Jaguars don't break the huddle till there's like 7 seconds left on the play clock. They're going to have to snap the ball quick, and they do. Give to the tailback, Van Bibber off the left side. He puts the head down, gets inside.
And there you see just a power play off tackle, gets a nice kick out from the fullback, and is able to power ahead for positive yardage.
And TJ does not have to run. Thomas Jefferson, 29, Belle Vernon, 14. You're watching WPIAL Football 2018 right here on the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
The latest high school football news during this week in the WPIAL, only here on the new Trib Live High School Sports Network. Join Don Rebel and other members of the Trib Live High School Sports Network team as it visits with WPIAL football coaches, plus they run down the upcoming schedule and preview the weekend's top high school football games. That's this week in the WPIAL, every Wednesday at 7 p.m. this fall. Only on the new Trib Live High School Sports Network.
Quarter number 4 at James Weir Stadium. Paul Patera, Lou Rude. We are bringing you Class 4A, Big 8 Conference football. Thomas Jefferson, the Trib's number 1 ranked team in Class 4A this week, leads Belle Vernon 29-14 in a second half that's been marred by hydrate. Barrett's back out there for Thomas Jefferson. Shaw is still guzzling water on the sidelines. Haven't seen Diebner either.
Yeah, it's tough. It really is. You can drink as much water, electrolyte things, which we all know, the body quick enough to help you recover when you're exerting as much energy as you are right now on a warm minute here. here. I'm going to get one more in here for Mr. Magic Car Wash. To give it that showroom shine with the added tire dressing and Magic Repel. And remember, there's an easier way to wash your car. Check them out online at MrMagicCarWash.com or visit a location near you to keep your car clean, shiny, and dry every time.
A score from Penn Trafford High School at the end of 3. Warriors lead Connellsville 57. So we start quarter number 4. Thomas Jefferson leading Belle Vernon 29-14. TJ's down to its third tailback, and he's still gaining yardage. That's Van Bibber now in the game.
That's because the well, 290, Huber's 290, Barrett's 295, Sarah Piglia's 295. Front.
And that's third tailback is Deron Van Bibber, 5'10", 160-pound sophomore. As Max Shaw left the game due to three. At the change of quarters, Thomas Jefferson now under center. Stump on the keeper over left guard. Forges ahead inside.
Runs that quarterback sneak.
So 1st and 10.
Well, we got a penalty
Jefferson.
marker down, obviously.
Penalty marker down.
It's on the
Face mask
Leopards.
Against Belle Vernon. That'll move it half the distance to the goal. To tack on a few more yards. Thomas Jefferson now threatening to put a little bit bigger lead. Preston Zandier, another sophomore. Center. Deep man is Van Bibber. Verteber is the fullback. Stump. Van Bibber off the right side. Finds a bit of a hole and gets in.
Bibber.
Van Bibber seems to have some quickness.
Yes, he does. Able to get upfield.
Martin is back on the field for Thomas Jefferson. He went off for cramps. He's also a tight end as well as plays linebacker. Belle Vernon 7. Van Bibber deep in the eye. He's got the ball. Right side, not much doing there. Maybe a
yeah, Rebar and Bertram.
Once again, those Penn Trafford scores, thanks to Kristen Sinti, friend of the network. 3rd and 4. Wide receiver. He'll line up wide right, near side. Going wide left to the far side is Zandier. 3rd and 4, backs in the eye. And we've got a whistle. Timeout taken by Thomas Jefferson.
The clock was down. Play clock was down to 1. If you're looking for a new car, look no further than C. Harper Auto Group. Chevy, Buick, Cadillac, Ford, Honda, Kia, commercial trucks, and service. With C. Harper, it's just that easy with your winning C. Harper team. This year, they're celebrating 35 years of business. Be sure to visit their new location in Connellsville. For more information, go to charper.com.
29-14, Thomas Jefferson leads Belle Vernon. 10:06 to play in the fourth quarter. Paul Patera, Lou Rude at the beach. James K. Weir Stadium at Belle Vernon Area High School. Now, Diebner is jogging a little bit. Maybe he's worked out them cramps somewhat. Shaw's still stretching it out some. Cramps have been the story here in the second half. Belle Vernon has it Thomas Jefferson has it third and fourth. The Belle Vernon 6. Well, Thomas Jefferson's down to one time. Jaguars 6 yards from pay dirt with a 3rd and 4. Thomas Jefferson will host Indiana. Belle Vernon will travel to Laurel Highlands. Van Deer comes wide to the near side. Tight end Martinez off to the bars as well. Van Bibber, deep man in the eye on the 3rd and 4. Gets the ball off the left side. He's going to take the ball into the end zone for the Thomas Jefferson.
With a tight end, and they ran just a power play off the left side. Van Bibber takes it in.
So the sophomore with his first touchdown of the year, probably his new holder with Diebner injured. That'll be Jake Pugh doing the holding. He puts it down. Thomas Jefferson 35, Belle Vernon 14. Sports Network.
Line of brand new furniture at discount pricing. 380 Discount Warehouse carries Ashley, Liberty, Von Bassett, and Best Home Furniture, and many more. You can special order your furniture at discount pricing. While you're there, shop the many other departments, including holiday decor. Visit them on the web at shop380.com or on the road on Route 380.
Reminder coming up after the game, it's the WPIAL Football Scoreboard Show with Don Rebel from the new Trib HSSN World Headquarters with all the scores and recaps from Week 2 of the WPIAL. Only here on the Trib Live High School Sports Network.
10:02 to play in the fourth quarter, 36-14. Thomas Jefferson leads Belle Vernon. Belle Vernon will get the football from Thomas Jefferson here. The Jaguars will kick it off. Pasco and Callaway deep. Losing to Belle Vernon very much last year in the regular season. Did get some revenge in the playoffs, defeating Belle Vernon in the WPIAL semifinals along the way to a WPIAL championship for Thomas Jefferson Jaguars, their 3rd in a row. Mashenko with the ball on the tee. Belle Vernon's only down 22, still 10 minutes to play. See what Coach Matt Humbert has up his sleeve for these final 10 minutes. Mashenko 15, going from left to right, trying to get wide, gets away from some tacklers and is out of bounds. So it looks like some yardage will be tacked on for Belle. And I think that on the special teams down on the far side of the field. Referee Dave Barry there, longtime official, as you mentioned. And is hurting, is in need.
And if you are interested in officiating, if you go to the PIAA website, he mentioned that he worked a ton of state playoff games last year in football just because, there aren't that as many officials as there have been in the past. And, I know I run into him a lot. He's an outstanding softball official as well. I run into him a lot during softball playoffs. And, it's nothing to see him work 2 or 3 games during the longtime official, Dave Barry. Also referees
and also the Pittsburgh Passion.
Yes,
well.
He does. Pittsburgh Passion games, has done them for years. So
after the penalty, the eye for the Leopards. Twins to the near side of the field, flanking out left. Rukonen in the slot. Diebner is back on the field on defense. Give to Paska off the right side. That's been a successful play.
They're not getting the push up front that they got earlier.
2nd and 8. Diebner was working on his leg after that play, but he's 37-yard line, going from right to left. Ball on the far hash mark. A back to each side of Hartman, who's in the shotgun. He's got Twins left, receiver right. TJ rushes 4. Deep pass, Hartman right side. That's too far. Intended. Good coverage downfield for the Thomas Jefferson Jaguars.
And there you see the pass well overthrown as they were with Rukonen step for step.
Hartman getting the play over on the sidelines from the Belle Vernon Leopards offense. 3rd and 8, Belle Vernon at its 37-yard line. Hartman's going to run back and just pounce on it. And Belle Vernon will have to punt the football.
Had his head down. He was motioning to another player to do something. And it's been a rough night for Belle Vernon tonight.
Cam Guest on to punt. Go. Guest takes the snap. And it takes a nice bounce for Belle Vernon. Back to the 3rd. Is take time off the clock that he is very adept at with these Jaguars. And I don't think Max Shaw and Diebner probably don't need to come in the
we just have the South Hills. They have multiple wash packages available to keep your car looking its very best. Give your car the works to give it that showroom shine with the added tire dressing and Magic Repel. And remember, there's an easier way to wash your car. Check them out online at MrMagicCarWash.com or visit a location near you to keep your car clean, shiny, and dry every time. And also, if you're looking for a new car, look no further than C. Harper Auto Group. Chevy, Buick, Cadillac, Ford, Honda, Kia, commercial trucks, and service. With C. Harper, it's just that easy with your winning C. Harper team. This year, they're celebrating 35 years of business. Make sure to visit their new location in Connellsville. For more information, go to charper.com.
8:09 to play in the fourth quarter. Class. And TJ has it 1st and 10 at its 30. Jaguars going from left to right. And, you know, Bill Chirpak will want to take some time off the clock.
I think they're just going to run the ball here, Paul.
I would think. It's one of those where we've got enough points always. On the field. Successful play all night.
Execution, guard.
So 2nd and 1.
And when you think about it, Paul, TJ has not run a whole lot of different plays tonight. They've run the guard trap. They've run the counter. They've run a power. And the fades.
2nd and 1, TJ at its 39. Stump under center, quarterback keeper, 1st down. Didn't need much.
Plays. What they do run, though, they execute extremely well. And that's a credit to Coach Bill Chirpak and his staff.
Max Shaw. So back them up. So back Thomas Jefferson. Football's a spot foul.
I'll be honest, in that massive humanity, I don't know how they saw the whole.
Jefferson. He comes wide to the near side. Filled for the Jaguars. Again, running the play clock down the 1. There's a give to the tailback, and that's Shaw. Shaw gets.
And he just G block on the power there, and he was able to explode up in there. G block means the guard pulled and kicked out. And huge hole for Shaw. Now he's cramping up again.
How well? Backfield again, twins to the far side. There's Verteber, the fullback. He's got another big hole inside Belle Vernon territory.
Danielson, guard for TJ, and a huge hole for Verteber.
So it'll be 1st and 10, a fresh set of downs for the Jaguars. 6:07 and turn. Thomas Jefferson leads. There's Van Bibber back in the game on a sweep, and he slips and falls at the 35, a gain of 5. So that'll make it a 2nd and 5 for the Jaguars. Shaw came back on, ran the one play, and it just went back over to the sideline. I think he wanted to test it.
At this point, you really don't need to. The outcome of this one's somewhat dictated right now since TJ has the ball and Belle Vernon player down, tying his shoe.
Tying his shoe. So it's the old signal to buck the play clock, and that puts 25 seconds back on the play clock and allows Thomas Jefferson to take even more time off the clock without running a play.
And they will.
Oh, yeah. I was just so impressed with the way Stump is just running this play clock down. Of course, the back judge will put up his right hand and indicate when there's 5 seconds left on the play clock. And Stump lets it run down, snaps it with 3 seconds, gives it to Van Bibber again. He breaks a tackle, gets to about the 31, a yard shot.
Yeah, and the key is, he made a couple people miss that time, but the TJ line up front.
They're good.
Mike Huber, Darius Barrett, Dom Serapiglia, Logan Danielson, Mac Duda, they have just done an outstanding job up front for Thomas Jefferson tonight.
So it'll be 3rd and 1 for the Jaguars. The tight end.
Tight end as well.
Ball at the 31 of Belle Vernon. Man in motion, that's Dame. Quarterback keeper, Stump. And Stump gets the first down as he gets inside the 30 to the 27. So another fresh set of downs for the TJ Jaguars. 4:02 to play here in the 4th quarter. They lead 36-14. So Thomas Jefferson apparently is going to go to 2-0 in the conference. Belle Vernon will fall to 1-1. And this TJ team's going to be tough to stop this year.
Oh, they are.
This is a good football team.
Well, they were ranked number one for a reason.
I mean, football, and they help Vertebra up. He's been battling. Hasn't played bad tonight, but sometimes.
Play of the trap, and that time Belle Vernon defensive lineman was able to sneak under the guard and make the play, and that was Dakota Marion that made the stop for Belle Vernon.
And we had some movement. Stump ran the play clock down to 1. But I think this penalty will be and is against the Thomas Jefferson Jaguars. A legal procedure. Back them up 5.
I don't think they really care at this point.
So it'll be a 2nd and 15 for the Jaguars. Moving clock down to 2:48 and turning to play. That's the eye. Hansen in motion from left to right. And there's a sweep to the right side. Toss to Van Bibber. Van Bibber inside to 30. He looks like he's.
Clamps were hitting him, but then he was able to get up. And
this is valuable time for him.
It is.
As the clock winds under 2 minutes to play. 3rd and 9. Thomas Jefferson at the 26 of Belle Vernon, excuse me. Give to the fullback Vertebra. Gets to about the 20.
And Barron makes a stop for Barron able to bring him down.
And when you got a 295-pound center to follow, there's usually some yardage there for you. 4th and 6. Thomas Jefferson at the Belle Vernon 23, and a timeout taken by Thomas Jefferson with 1:07 to play in the fourth quarter. It's 36-14. Thomas Jefferson leads Belle Vernon. Of course, this score and scores of all the games of Week 2 of the WPIAL season and recaps will be coming your way as soon as we are done here on the high. Ben Trafford won 57-3. That one was 57-0. Connellsville. High School Sports Network North. County. Good.
Yeah. Usually they are. I mean,
Art Walker's a good coach.
The University of North Allegheny.
And a lot of people think it's going to come down to North Allegheny, Pine Richland, and Central Catholic. Thomas. Tight ends in the lineup for the Jaguars. Receiver off to the right side. Stump looks to throw. He's going to throw that fade incomplete. And the ball will go over at their 22-yard line. Happen on the offensive side. Its full complement of timeouts.
No, there's
traditional song, Jefferson.
I'll plead the Fifth Amendment.
I backfield for the Leopards of Belle Vernon. Receivers each way. It's Raconen to the near side. Pasco dots the I. Hartman looks to pass. His pass batted up in the air. Good coverage. Make it 2nd and 10 for the Leopards at their 23-yard line. So Matt Humbert still going to try to put some points on the board.
I've got a long time to go to develop the team. Playoffs. And so, just got to get ready to go.
Off the right side, Pasco.
And there they just got burned by TJ and some superior plays and, great passing by Shane Stump, some great running by Max Shaw. I mean, and that offensive line from TJ was just dominant. He won. So there's a lot of positives that can be. WPIALs in a row.
There's a give to Pasco again. He'll add to that yardage total, get over the 35 to the 30. One. Don't know if Belle Vernon will run another play, and it doesn't look like there will be another play in this football game. So the two.
Carries a full line of brand new furniture at discount pricing. 380 Discount Warehouse carries Ashley, Liberty, Von Bassett, and Best Home Furniture, and many more. You can special order your furniture at discount pricing. While you're there, shop the many other departments, including tools, automotive, food, pet and wildlife, household goods and cleaning supplies, lawn and garden, and seasonal holiday decor. Visit them on the web at shop380.com or on the road on Route 380 in Murraysville. Open Tuesday through Sunday 9 to 5. Shop 380 Discount Warehouse and save big.
Excella Health knows how important shoulders, knees, and ankles are to an athlete. Whether you're on the gridiron, under the boards, or walking a balance beam, being on the sidelines is never an option. Excella Health has a trusted team of orthopedic surgeons and athletic trainers right here in Westmoreland County. To learn more about Excella Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, visit them on the web at excellahealth.org. That's excellahealth.org. For the most complete recap of Friday night's high school football action, tune in on your way home from the game to the WPIAL Scoreboard Show, only here on the Trib Live High School Sports Network. Hi, this is Don Rebel. Join me in a cast of thousands for all the scores with recaps from the top games, plus we highlight the night on the Trib Live Roundtable. That's the WPIAL Scoreboard Show after the game on Friday nights on the Trib Live High School Sports Network and at tribhssn.triblive.com.
The Thomas Jefferson Jaguars in Class 4A Big 8 conference action, 36-14. Let's take a look at these scoring plays. It was Thomas Jefferson scoring first. But Belle Vernon bounced right back on the very next offensive play. Mason Pasco sprinting 78 yards for a touchdown. The Cameron guess extra point made it 7-0. Pasco 271 yards rushing in this football game. It was a special team score that came up next. A safety made it 8-7. And then Max Shaw for Thomas Jefferson increased that lead on a 30-yard run. And at that point, it was 15-7 Thomas Jefferson. It looked it would stay that way, but with just 13 seconds left in the first half, a touchdown pass from Shane Stump to Dave Diebner made it 22-7. Thomas Jefferson getting on the board early in the third quarter. A long touchdown pass, hitting Diebner in stride again. That combination hooking up 80 yards, and it was 29-7. But Belle Vernon was not done. Mason Pasco was the guy tonight for the Leopards, sprinting with the football, going 55 yards on this touchdown run, getting ahead of all Thomas Jefferson's secondary men, and they could not catch him. That made it 29-14. Belle Vernon did have one more score. The sophomore tailback, Deron Van Bibber, off the left side, bounced off a tackler, took it into the end zone. Thomas Jefferson with a 36-14 lead. Lou, it's a rivalry, but Thomas Jefferson's just such a good program. You see how this team is so well coached. They were losing players left and right to cramps. Other players were stepping in and doing just as good a job.
Yeah, and it's a testament to Coach Bill Chirpak and his staff that they can lose frontline players and the subs come in and are just as effective as the frontline players, and that's where he's got this program right now. They can come out and go get you. And for Belle Vernon, it was a good test. They had to find out where they are. Coach Matt Humbert had some concerns coming into tonight. I think some of those concerns are still going to be there after the evening is done, but there's also some positive things that he can build on. And, again, it's the second game of the season. You've still got a long way to go. What you got to do is you got to learn from tonight, learn from your mistakes, and correct them, and then move forward next week for Laurel Highlands. And for TJ, another doesn't make your season this early in the season. You still got a long way to go.
Belle Vernon falls to 1-1 in the conference as Lou 2-0 in the conference. The Jaguars host Indiana next week. Don't forget, coming up next, it's the WPIAL Scoreboard Show on the Trib Live High School Sports Network with scores and recaps from the games throughout Week 2 of the WPIAL football season. Your final score, once again, Thomas Jefferson 36, Belle Vernon 14. Remember, Lou Rude, this is Paul Patera. Good night, everybody.